Good evening, listeners, and welcome from the CRMOT Centre Community Stadium at the Lamb for tonight's Staff Senior Cup second round tie between Kidsgrove Athletic and Tamworth. This rearranged tie, of course, so technically Kidsgrove are the home side. The referee just checking with both goalkeepers, and we are underway. As always, listeners, if you would like a mention, please use the Mixlr chat button. I've noticed a few familiar names in there already. Good evening, everybody that's commented so far. Tamworth in possession early on, and it will take, it's not something we give a lot of thought to the Tamworth side, is it? But it'll take some getting used to this evening with all the different names in there from what we're used to. It's Kidsgrove in possession. Tamworth gave the ball away in their defensive third. Header at the far post, off the bar, and just about missed on the rebound. Tamworth survived a very early scare, Stuart.
Absolutely, and I think it was Ryan Tate there with the bit of a slack pass, Kev, that put Kidsgrove on the front foot, and fortunately for Tamworth, the woodwork got in the way.
That was a very, very early chance inside the first minute. And it was of Tamworth's own doing, as you adequately explained, Stuart. Kidsgrove in possession now, back to their goalkeeper, Kieran Harrison. And let's just remind you, listeners, that we are treating this as a Kidsgrove are the home side. So when I do read the two teams out in a moment, it will be Kidsgrove first, and it will also appear that way on any mentions that the club makes and on our highlights. Tamworth back in possession now.
I'll have to try and remember that one, Kev, going through the night now.
Yeah, we're bound to trip up a couple of times, aren't we? There's one of the players, established first team players. Henry Wilder is in the left back position this evening, and he's kept possession ticking over nicely into Clement, another first teamer there, who's laid a pass back which was miscontrolled and then allows Kidsgrove to go forward.
At the minute, Reece Honey seems to be playing in a centre forward role, Kev, like a striker role.
Yeah, I thought that myself, and he's not, well, obviously he played there last season for Kettering, and he has on occasion played straight through the middle for Tamworth this season, but generally, of course, he is used as a winger. But no, he's definitely playing in that role, isn't he? You can see that. He's closing down the goalkeeper now, Kieran Harrison, who checks one way then the other and kicks upfield. Second ball lofted down the middle of the Lamb's defence, and a bit of a mix-up there initially at the back, but Tamworth survive. Wilder chips one up the line now towards Chandler Pegg. Just out of play on this. I thought it was out of play on this near side, but
it certainly
wasn't.
looked it, to be fair, but
no flag from the referee's assistant.
Henry Wilder now with ball in hand, ready to take this throw-in down the line into Jordan Clement, and then the subsequent challenge from Kyle Blake sends it out of play for another Tamworth throw.
So if you can keep an eye on things, I'll read through the two teams then. The Kidsgrove Athletic side then. In goal, Kieran Harrison. 2, Reece Thompson. 3, Alex Morris. 4, Sam Hall. 5, Oliver Jepson. 6, James Butler. 7, Tom France. 8, Kyle Blake. 9, Kingsley Adu Gwafi. 10, Ant Malbon. 11, Dylan Bath. On the bench for the Grove is Richard Duffy, Lee Williamson, Ryan Austin, and just 3 substitutes names. The Tamworth side this evening. In goal, Corey Samuels. 2, Luke Little. 3, Henry Wilder. 4, Z Sabanda. 5, Rashawn Francis. 6, Sam Walton. 7, Delano Reed. 8, Ryan Tate. 9, Chandler Pegg. 10, Jordan Clement. 11, Reece Honus. On the bench for the Lambs, Alex Smith, Anthony Robinson, Tyrell Waite, Kai Dryden, Lewis Kelly. And the referee this evening is Mr. Brad Tonks.
Not a lot has really happened, because we're reading the teams out. It's a bit of play between the two teams in the middle of the park. Nothing really to write home about. Corey Samuels now with ball in hand, ready to take this goal kick. and seemingly playing the same sort of pattern of play as normally, Kev, playing it from the back like we would see the first team do.
Yeah, and that was what's led to the first opportunity of the game, that header off the crossbar inside the first minute. The Tamworth side giving the ball away deep in their own half, and Kidsgrove almost made them pay for it. The ball is out of play on the far side for a Kidsgrove throw. Honus putting a lot of pressure on the Kidsgrove back line. Kidsgrove coming into this one fresh from their 2-0 away defeat at the weekend to Cleethorpes Town, who are riding high in the Northern Premier League Division 1 South East table. Kidsgrove themselves are sitting in 7th after 23 games, so from what I remember, having a better season than last season, still under manager Ryan Austin, who's been at the club since 2016. Throwing free kick I should say, to Tamworth, right on the halfway line on his left hand side, Henry Wilder to take. Tamworth not exactly throwing bodies forward for this, but it's punted up to the edge of the 18-yard box, headed down by Z Subanda, kept alive by Clement. And it's very tempting to look at the shirt number and say, in that case, I nearly said Jimmy Fry there as the number 8 flashed up in front of me, and I thought, actually, it's Ryan Tate. But we get so accustomed to the players that play in these shirts, don't we, of course?
Yeah, and actually, Kev, as well, just as Luke Little makes this run down the right-hand side, checks back inside, plays the ball back, now to Jordan Clement, into Z Subanda, looking for Reese Honus. And you wasn't aware at the time, Kev, but Delano Reid actually hasn't started. It's the number 16 instead in his place of Kai Dryden, who's out there on the right-hand side. Looks a little bit like Delano from a distance, but he has got the number 16 shirt on.
So, Kai Dryden, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, of course, I'm not sure who was in the car with Delano Reid and actually late to the game. So that would be why Delano was on the team sheet to start, but hasn't started, which is kind of what we felt would happen and probably should happen. Yeah, Little in possession again. Yeah, He's looked bright in the early minutes.
We were talking about if he turned up late, he wouldn't have had a chance to warm up or anything, would he?
No, this is it.
You know.
This is it, and on a cold night like this as well, the last thing you want to do is to
just jump out of the car and get your kit on and just play football.
Yeah, it just lends itself to injuries, doesn't it? Little again trying to advance down the right side, and that's out of play for a Tamworth throw, taken quickly by the young Tamworth fullback into Jordan Clement, who shows his strength really well there to keep the ball against a man physically bigger than he. And then the ball forward by Sam Walton is cut out, and Tamworth finding it a little bit frustrating trying to get through the Kidsgrove midfield at the moment. Walton again now into Subanda. Longer ball down the middle towards Honus this time. The two centre-backs do enough, but only clear it as far as Jordan Clement, and he might think about a shot from 25 yards. He's wriggling his way through to the area. The referee, Mr. Tonks, has pulled that one back for a free kick to Tamworth, as Jordan just ran into a little bit of traffic there, but was fouled probably twice on that run through, Stuart.
Yeah, absolutely, and Reese Honus has gone and grabbed the ball this time. And I think there was actually a yellow card there, wasn't there, Kev? I certainly saw the referee put his hand in there.
I must admit, I didn't see that. I was looking at my notes.
I looked away, but I turned back and I saw his hand being in the lofty position, being taken back down. So
okay, well, it's Jordan Clement or Reese Honus to take this free kick about 20 yards from goal, slightly left of the 18-yard D at the Meadow Street end of the ground. And it is Honus to take, and curls it up and over the bar, but not by too much, Stuart.
No, it wasn't too far away at all, was it, Kevin? The keeper was rooted to the spot. I don't know if he knew it was going to go over, but it was dipping viciously, wasn't it, Kevin? If that was just a little bit further out, that would have dipped in under the bar.
If you look at the Tamworth squad as we know it, and we could become accustomed to who can take these free kicks like that, you would say there's probably two players, as in Ryan Bezic and Chris Lake, who can actually from that range realistically have a chance of getting the ball up and over the wall. I think the problem with that was it was slightly too close to goal for Reese, because if he'd have had a couple of yards extra on that, I'm pretty sure he would have got that on target, but wasn't to be. It was a difficult skill to execute. Tamworth are growing into this one, Stuart. I don't know about you, but I feel they are. Yeah,
they certainly are. They've rid the early storm that Kidsgrove were throwing at them.
And it's good to see an energetic contest where both teams clearly are going for this. When you think about this, it's a big night for some of these development players, isn't it? This is probably the biggest game some of them would have played, and it's a real opportunity for them to show, you know, the likes of Andrew Danlish, Gary Smith, and, you know, that they actually should be considered for the first team.
Yeah.
Samuels with the kick under pressure, flicks off the head of Chandler Pegg and out for a throw-in about halfway into the Grove half. And we are 11 minutes on the clock here at the CR MOT Centre Community Stadium at the Lamb, and it is Kidsgrove Athletic 0, Tamworth 0. Ball at the feet of Kieran Harrison, the visiting goalkeeper. He kicks up long, up over halfway, but Tamworth pick up the scraps again. Clement with a delightful chip now down the left wing, and Pegs onto the end of that. He's got to, before the keeper crosses it into an empty area. Well, I'll say empty in terms of the absence of the goalkeeper, but there were plenty of blue shirts there, Stuart, to mop up.
Yeah, and I've got a little feeling that Chandler Pegg could have probably gone down there, Kev, because the keeper seemed to clip at his heels a little bit.
Clement looking industrious, gets a shot off, good save by Harrison, palmed it away to his right hand side, and effectively so out for a throw-in to Tamworth in front of this sponsor suite.
A good firm hand, wasn't it, Kev, that palmed that one away, but it was a delicious shot there from Jordan Clement, so completely went out of my head there for a second.
You know, one player you want on the ball 20 yards from goal and trying to curl a shot in the Tamworth side is Jordan Clement.
Absolutely.
You know, we showed earlier on in the season when he got that glut of goals, 4 goals in the league, and
I think the most memorable one, Kev, would probably be the one.
One in the cup, yeah.
I was going to say the one away at Leiston, his most memorable goal.
Just trying to. Yes, that was an opportunist strike from about 35 yards, wasn't it? Brilliant effort. But in terms of ball manipulation, Jordan Clement has got it. You know, the kid has got it. But it's the other areas of his game that have maybe let him down. And the reason why he's not a regular first team starter, Clement again gets his head up and after winning the ball, chips one forward a little bit too long on that occasion, and it runs on through to the goalkeeper Harrison. But yeah, the 4 goals that Jordan scored, 3 were in the league and 1 was in the cup. I think the trouble is, you know, you have to go back a long time since he did score, and it's hard to picture those goals. You said the Leiston one, and it took me a moment to just, that one.
Yeah.
Tamworth again break up the play through the midfield and look to release Honus with the ball more direct that time. Slightly to the right of the 18-yard box, but it's too long. And easily defended by Kidsgrove, but again they give it away, and it is Tamworth who are having the lion's share of the possession and looking a little bit more lively when they've got the ball than their hosts. Sabanda now, the forgotten man at Tamworth really. Some of you listeners will, or probably most of you would remember Z Sabanda from pre-season. Wilder now on the left side with a chance to cross, gets in towards far post, there's a touch on that but it's wide.
Yeah, it was Luke Little actually at the back post there, kept trying to double his goal tally for the Lambs.
Just getting greedy now, isn't he, Stuart? I'm sure most of you listeners now have actually seen the either saw the goal at Redditch, Luke Little on 46 minutes on Saturday, or have subsequently seen the highlights. And what a fantastic link up with Liam Hearn, and a little nutmeg into the area and blasted at the near post. A great goal for Luke after much speculation last week that he'd left the club. Just goes to show, don't believe everything you read on social media.
That's the thing, isn't it, Kev, you know?
You know, until it's official by the club. There was a lot that happened, I'm led to believe, over the week, and that is about as much I can say on that matter. But delighted to know that he's still with us. And it was an assured performance on Saturday. It was a very good show. Honus now chasing onto a loose ball down the left side. It was aimed at Chandler Pegg, but it went over his head. But Honus was there to keep it alive into the area. He might try and get a shot off. It's well blocked, just on the edge of the 18-yard box. But that's what Rhys Honus does, isn't it, Stuart? He drives in from the wing to get it onto his right foot, and then he tries to get a shot off.
Absolutely, and Rhys Honus is growing on me more and more every game that he plays as well, Kev, after, what you'll probably agree was not the start that we probably anticipated from him to his Tamworth career, was certainly what we'd heard it's been like for previous teams he's playing for.
Well, I think, with the reputation that Rhys came with from title winners Kettering Town last season, having scored 30 plus goals, you think he had all pre-season as well, and you just think we just expected a little bit more, didn't we? And of course he didn't cement his place in the side early on. I think he missed the first half a dozen games really. Was a bit part player, but no, he has impressed. I think Rhys is Rhys, and you get what you get, but he's very energetic. He never gives things up, and therefore he wins a lot of favour from the fans. Kidsgrove on a rare foray forward now down the right side. Number 7 then, Tom France trying to get the crossover, but it's out of play for a goal kick for Corey Samuels to take.
And I've no doubt that this one will be short, like most of them have been so far. And Tamworth in a little bit of a predicament now, but they're managing to pass their way out of it quite well. And I think Kidsgrove are now wise to that short ball, Kev, from Corey, and are marking it tighter and tighter each time, and I think it might have to go long.
Yeah, I think Tamworth do need to mix it a little bit. The problem that we've got is, yes, Kidsgrove are pressing it, but normally the players that Tamworth have got are good enough to get out of that press and exploit the space that they've left further up the pitch. That's not really happening so far tonight. 18 minutes into this second round Staff Senior Cup tie. Again, a ball aimed towards Chandler Pegg is over his head.
It was a good solid kick by Corey though, Kev, from the ground. It was well up over the halfway line.
Do you know what's impressive about the youngsters really is, I don't know whether it's impressive, it stands out to me that you've got a very slight goalkeeper like that who can kick a ball with such technique and such power. He didn't really try to kick that then, and it went absolutely miles up the pitch. So I guess a lot of it is technique, and if you're taught at a young age, that really helps. I certainly couldn't leather a ball that far.
When I used to come down to training most nights last season, and I used to stand behind the goal and chat with Lee Evans and Jazz and the other goalkeepers, watching Corey, the amount that he progressed every week, was amazing to see, Kevin. Now, like you said, he's in the Tamworth first team, playing the Staff Senior Cup. Yeah,
he'll be like a kid at Christmas out there. He really made up that he's given this opportunity this evening. Now, I spoke to Tom Bailey a few days ago, and I asked him if we would recall Rich Walton. I believe he's on loan at Biggleswade.
Biggleswade, isn't it?
Went to Evesham and then to Biggleswade, and he said no, we'll be playing the development keeper. So he's known for a while as Corey, and I'm sure he's been looking forward to the evening, and so far he's done nothing wrong. But all of a sudden now Kidsgrove on the attack again, with France trying to get the cross in, but well recovered by Walton there to get a tackle in and prevent that cross. But Kidsgrove back in possession with the fullback now, where Rhys Thompson, little 1-2 give and go around the Lambs 18-yard box. It's all a little bit over elaborate in the end from the number 9 Kingsley Adu Guamfi, and eventually a free kick to Tamworth. But that was not a bad little spell of possession there by Kidsgrove, Stuart.
Here's on for you, Kev. I wonder if a week on Saturday if Rich Walton will be allowed to play against us.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But you've seen it happen, yeah.
We have, yeah.
Just noticing Jim Beeson's comment there about Jordan Clement. He's mirroring what I said, really. I thought a lot of people can see that with Jordan. He's got such ability. Long clearance for Tamworth down the middle, goes all the way through to Harrison in the Grove goal. He bounces the ball a couple of times on the 18-yard line, and then will kick down the centre from hand. Just outside the centre circle in the Tamworth half. Tamworth pick up the possession, foul on Chandler Pegg, who did everything right there, really. Just in his attempts to get the ball under control, he knew he just had to get his body between the ball and the opponent, and he would surely be bundled to the ground and win the free kick, which he did.
Just while there's a break in the play curve, I'd just like to actually wish Aberystwyth Town good luck tomorrow in their replay away against Worcester in the FA Vars. They came really close to actually winning that one Saturday by all accounts.
Yeah, absolutely. All the best to the Adders.
Doing really well under Scott Rickards and Mike Fowler.
Yeah, strong Tamworth connection there, of course. Thrown to Tamworth on this near side, and we all know what a good FA Vars run can do for a club.
Yeah, I think they've already well surpassed the expectations. They are currently the lowest ranked squad or team in that competition. Tamworth now just with the ball in the centre of the pitch, and Jordan Clement has been fouled there. He must have a target on his chest tonight, because he's been the centre of everything so far.
And I think that just ties in nicely with what we were talking about, Stuart. He's got such good manipulation of the ball and technique that once he's got his first touch, which is nearly always good, he's very difficult to get off the ball, and I think that's why he's getting fouled so often. Good powerful header upfield by Rashawn Francis. It's missed everybody, and Honus is almost in there with Harrison in between the centre back and the keeper there, but just ran on slightly too far, and Harrison was able to gather. Again, bounces a couple of times on the 18-yard line and will kick long from hand. Oh, he's not caught that one right. Fortunately, it's gone low and flat, but it's actually gone to Oliver Jepson there, who controlled it neatly and played it up pitch. But a little bit of a let-off there, Stuart, from a poor kick from the keeper.
Absolutely. And just update from the Southern League Central. It's still Colville 0, Needham Market 0. They're approaching half-time now.
Bolton digs out a crossfield pass from almost on his own byline there, and Tamworth try and progress down the right hand side. Little's ball in field is cut out. He'll be disappointed with that pass to the young fullback because he had other options. But Tamworth, they're pressing well, they're pressing high up the pitch, possessionally are having the advantage. Nice take there on the halfway by Zeus Sibanda, and Tamworth back on the attack now with Pegg, who's not had a lot of opportunity to show his skills, but he's into the 18-yard box now, bundled to the ground, but fairly, says the referee, Mr. Tonks, and I'm not too sure about that one, but goal kick is the verdict. I can tell by the look on your face, Stuart, that you're probably in my camp on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Similarly, it looked like Sam Walton was fouled there as he tried to protect the ball out for a Tamworth throw, but it's actually a throw into Kidsgrove now and no free kick to Tamworth.
You know what, I'm actually really impressed with the academy lads so far.
Poor throw by Reece Thompson there, give it straight back to Tamworth. Honus now making a nuisance of himself as he does in customary fashion, and that is a Tamworth throw 5 yards into the Grove half on this near side.
I mean, I used to come down to a lot of the under 21 games last season when they used to kick off at 10:30 in the morning, but that's all stopped now. The class as a men's team with the 3 o'clock kick-offs. It clashes with our first team commitment, so that's been something I've not been able to do this season.
Yeah, that's the downside of it, really. No, you've seen a number of the lads out there this evening and you've seen them play, so you know better than I what they're capable of. I've only caught 1 or 2 games. But no, they are performing very well so far. Honus tries to chest one down to a teammate, but that is cut out, unfortunately. Now Tamworth on the attack again there. Clement this time opens up his body. He doesn't quite get his shot right as he was closed down, and it's easy enough for the goalkeeper Harrison. And that from about 21 yards or so from goal. Quite central as well.
25 on the clock here at the CRMT Centre Community Stadium. It's still Kidsgrove Athletic 0, Tamworth 0. I think I remembered, Kev.
Yeah. Well done, Stuart.
Thank you.
I just keep seeing Kai Dryden, and it's uncanny how he looks like Delano Reid.
Yeah, I think he's just missing the highlights, Kev.
Yes, yeah, that's it. But other than that, stature-wise, he's very similar.
Yeah, hairstyle's like very similar, other than the bit of a blonde streak through the hair.
So when we know that Delano is on the bench because he's arrived late, Tamworth pressing high, and Kidsgrove get away with one there somewhat and try and play out from their own half now. They don't look anywhere near as relaxed doing so as Tamworth do coming out of their own half.
But is this the way that they play, Kev, usually, or is this what Andrew Donaldson's told them to do? In the dressing room, we don't know, do we?
No, we don't. Now here's Thompson now, picks the ball up on halfway and then goes for the 1-2 into the 18-yard box. Good save by Corey Samuels there. It was straight at the keeper, but it come off his knee and it had to be made, that save.
Yeah, you do have to wonder though if anyone other than the right back would have had a better chance at scoring that, Kev, because it was the number 2 there that shot at goal.
Yeah, he did well to pick up the ball on the halfway initially and then played the little 1-2, went into the 18-yard box, and the shot really did let the move down because it was straight at Corey Samuels, who made a decent save, to be fair.
Yeah, we did, but like I say, you have to wonder if it was a striker, if he'd have been able to place that in a corner instead of straight at Corey.
Just watching Henry Wilder here, he's just totally above this game, isn't he? He's completely composed. There was a couple of silky skills there in front of us as you were talking, and it must be really frustrating the number 7 Tom France, who despite his best efforts of trying to pressurise Henry Wilder, he just got nowhere near him. Total utter confidence, Henry Wilder, so far this evening, and offering him his services at every opportunity down the left flank as well. On the attack again, Tamworth, and that aimed towards Wilder from Clement, but it's wayward. Poor pass really by Jordan, and it is out of play for a goal kick to Kidsgrove. 0-0, 28 on the clock here. Kidsgrove Athletic 0, Tamworth 0. In this twice rearranged game. Trying at the third attempt, aren't we?
We certainly are.
And the first time we've kicked a ball in this competition, and already the quarter-finals have been played. So 3 teams through to the semi-finals, awaiting the winners of this tie and then the quarter-final tie, the home tie against Stoke City, and let's hope that is Tamworth. And you just wonder, don't you, Stuart, if Tamworth do progress this evening and we're into the quarter-finals with a home tie against Stoke with a very winnable route through to the final itself, you wonder what kind of a team they'll play. I was just hesitating there as Kidsgrove sent the ball into the Lambs area, which was defended by Francis.
The one for me, Kev, though, is when we feature in the Birmingham Senior Cup, because if I remember rightly, the Birmingham Senior Cup, you can only field players that are first team registered.
Yeah.
But the Staffordshire Senior Cup, you can play anybody that plays for the club.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a case of see what happens, I think, after tonight. But I think we're going to have to take the Birmingham Senior Cup more seriously just because of who we can field.
Yeah, the nature of the rules of the competition, yeah. Pegg just wins a free kick just inside the Tamworth half, a foul by Reece Thompson. He was a little bit too aggressive in his attempts to win that ball. I'm not really sure what Reece Thompson's arguing about there with the referee, Mr. Tonk Stewart, because to me that was all ends up that was a foul.
Yeah, it was.
You agree?
I do actually.
Yeah.
I like the way that he even took the ball over to the referee as a little present for him.
Really got to be in his bonnet as Reece Thompson. I think the referee's had enough now and will call him back and put him in the book. So yellow card for Reece Thompson then for dissent, I believe, on 31 minutes.
Do you know what, Kev? I've actually only just realised our discussion before the game, and we were right. Henry Wilder is wearing the captain's armband. I've only just noticed it because it blends in with his red Under Armour and the red shirt.
Sam Walton to take the free kick for that foul on Chandler Pegg. High up towards the far side of the 18-yard box. Dryden the closest Tamworth player to it, but it runs out of play for a goal kick to the Grove. And I think really, you know, on balance, looking at this half hour in, I think, you know, the Grove manager, Ryan Austin, will be relatively happy really with the way that his team have acquitted themselves. You'd have to say probably overall Tamworth have had slightly the better of it without really creating any clear-cut opportunities. Kidsgrove having arguably the best chance, and that was the header that come crashing off the bar inside the first minute.
Yeah, that was very early doors, that one, wasn't it? But since then, Tamworth have, like I said, have looked the stronger. There was that shot from number 2, Reece Thompson, there, that was straight at Corey Samuels. And like we discussed, if you do feel if that was anyone other than a defender taking that shot on goal, then it probably would have been a bit more difficult for Corey to get something onto it.
Absolutely, yep. Just a break in the play now as a free kick to Kidsgrove, 15 yards or so into the Tamworth half. And a very warm welcome to Gareth Zimmerman, who is in the chat this evening. Good evening, Gareth. Good to have you with us.
And there's me thinking if he would have come down for a burger. He's got no stamina now, Mr. Zimmerman.
I think anyone with any sense this evening would miss this because it's absolutely freezing. The referee's just still trying to sort one or two things out before he allows play to get back underway.
Yeah, and it's the Kidsgrove man that he's not happy with. It's the number 5, Oliver Jepson. I don't really know what his argument is, but the referee, Mr. Tonks, he's not happy.
Yeah, it's strange really because there's no Tamworth player in discussion with the referee, because considering that we conceded the free kick and that's generally what happens.
Yeah.
But no, it was Mr. Jepson, and all is well. We will be back underway. Free kick taken, and surely 2 or 3 players there, Kidsgrove players offside. Well drilled, Lamb's backline moved up very well as one.
There you go, Kevin. Here's one thing to take note of. Just look at the Tamworth bench compared to the Kidsgrove bench. Look how populated they are.
Yeah. Only 3 substitutes for the Grove this evening.
One of them being the manager as well.
That's quite right, yeah, Mr. Ryan Austin, manager since 2016.
And I think the Tamworth bench is overflowing, Kev.
There's just not enough room, simply, is there? You know. Do you know what I haven't seen? You know, since we had all the drainage work and the floor level raised, and consequently, all the people in the dugout are actually closer to the roof.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen anybody clobber their head on it yet, and I thought that would happen.
Well, not that we know of yet.
I haven't seen it.
We're usually busy commentating, Kev, so you don't really know, do you?
Well, I don't know. We do gaze over there quite often, but I haven't actually seen it yet. I dare say it has happened.
Yeah, but Kev, you struggled to see the substitute board over there, so...
Yeah, I think I'd see something funny. Chance for Kidsgrove. It's actually in the back of the net. Very muted celebrations there. I was waiting for the flag to go up on this near side, and it didn't. And play went on, and all of a sudden there was a ricochet in the box, and the rebound smacked home into the top corner. So, Kidsgrove Athletic 1, Tamworth 0, Stuart.
Yeah, and like you said, that's not even the smashing of Kidsgrove fans over there celebrated, Kev. I don't know if they were waiting for a flag to go up as well. That was
really surreal.
Yeah,
Very, very strange.
You're even hear bigger cheers in Sunday League, Kev, than you were then.
So Dylan Bath, the goal scorer, on 35 minutes. And Tamworth trail. Rashawn Francis now plays one short, and then from midfield it goes forward towards Chandler Pegg, but it's too long. And I think really that's been the undoing so far of this Tamworth performance. Those balls forward haven't been accurate enough.
No, they haven't had that.
To give the strikers chance or the wingers chance.
I think they've just been overhit more. I know you say, it's inaccurate, and overhitting is inaccurate, but it's not like it's been the opposite direction, is it? It's just been overhit in front of the player, and it's run through to the keeper.
They've been in the right areas, haven't they? They've just been too long.
Yeah.
So Reece Thompson with a throw in now on this near side. This is about 20 yards from the Tamworth goal. Finds a teammate on the edge of the 18-yard line and defended well enough by Tamworth, but not fully cleared. Chipped forward by the number 6 there, James Butler, but rather aimless and dealt with by Tamworth. Again, given away, and it's all a little bit scrappy until a foul on Jordan Clement halfway into the Tamworth half. 2 or 3 times there, Stuart, Tamworth had the ball, they broke up the attack and then proceeded to give the ball back to Kidsgrove.
Yeah, I think it just lacked experience of this group of players playing together, Kev, doesn't it? Because there is a mixture, like you said, of first team and academy. And I presume for the academy lads, this is quite a fairly big test against this Kidsgrove side. Obviously, they're only, is it 1 league below Tamworth, the first team?
Oh yeah, this is a test, no doubt. Tamworth on the attack now. Little's ball into the area, finds Honus, and then smack goal was by Dryden, I think that was, and cleared. But a mixture of the defenders and goalkeeper somehow, and lofted out of play on this near side for a Tamworth throw. Taken infield to Sibanda, who actually missed it, but in doing so allowed it to roll infield to Ryan Tate. Now here's Rashawn Francis, goes for goal actually from way out, and it's nowhere near, troubling the goalkeeper Kieran Harrison. Not quite sure what he was trying to do there, Stuart.
No, I'm not too sure either, because obviously he's playing in a centre-back role tonight, Kevin. So far he's been fairly solid, I think, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Rush has made any errors.
Not any glaring ones,
anyway. He's done his job, yeah, he's done well. He'll see himself as one of the more senior players out there. Yeah, behind the likes of Honus and Wilder and Clement. Ball into the Tamworth box again. Corey Samuels comes out well and gathers that one ahead of the striker. If that had held up another yard, that could have been a different story.
Yeah, absolutely. He only just got there, didn't he, Kev? Managed to hang on though.
Big call from Wilder for Corey to loft the ball down this side, flicked on by Pegg. That's a really good flick on, and just unfortunately a little bit heavy towards Wilder there, and it allowed Butler to come across and knock it out the ground for a Tamworth throw.
Gareth said he's currently actually laundering the Bedworth kit. He said he was spoilt at Tamworth.
Yeah, he had Buster to do it all for him.
He did, yeah.
Another throw into Tamworth when we get the ball back, or is it a free kick? It will be a free kick actually. Now this is 25 yards from goal, and left almost level with the left side of the Kidsgrove 18-yard box. Wilder just takes up that position now, but we'll leave this ball for Clement to swinging away from Harrison. So a good ball now into that area of uncertainty. And it's just a little bit too long actually, and it's bounced once and out of play for a goal kick.
Been story of the night so far though, hasn't it, Kev, from Tamworth? It's all been a little bit too long.
Yeah, that's the frustrating thing with Jordan Clement. He's got no pressure on him there to get that ball into a good area, and he's failed to do it. And you look at those inconsistencies in his game, and that's why he's not starting every game. It's quite obvious to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also alongside what has been levelled at Jordan at times, his work rate as well. or perceived lack of it. Clearance by the goalkeeper, and that comes off Chandler Pegg for a Grove throw just into the Tamworth half. Reece Thompson to take. Headed away by Sibanda, back to Thompson. Thought about chipping it forward first time, but just delays a moment and then lost it forward, but dealt with by Tamworth. Good play by Tate, just to prod it wide towards Pegg, but it's got too much on it. Had to play for a Grove throw. Really is a bitterly cold night here at the Lamb. 41 on the clock. Kidsgrove Athletic 1, Tamworth 0. And as yet, the meetings between the two sides have resulted in three meetings and 3 victories for Kidsgrove, scoring 10 goals, and Tamworth actually have failed to score in any of those 3 games. The most recent was that 6-0 mauling away at Kidsgrove. I'll just get the date on that. So that was the 15th of January 2019. Just 72 poor souls braved the winter's evening at Hollingwood Road. Kidsgrove 6, Tamworth 0. And as I say, the 3 games so far between the 2 teams have resulted in 3 wins for Kidsgrove without Tamworth scoring a goal, and that is continuing so far this evening.
And I'm glad that we weren't 2 of them that were there last season, Kev, to be fair. After the performance that we heard about, one of the rare games that Lambsmead actually missed all season.
Yeah, it's one of those that, you know, you're checking in with it and you're realising the score, and it's obviously a bad evening, and you're thinking, well, I'm rather glad I'm not there.
Yeah, I gave up after about 4-0, I think.
And the ball is at the feet now of visiting goalkeeper Kieran Harrison. Perhaps shouldn't say visiting goalkeeper really, because Kidsgrove are the hosts, really, technically speaking.
Well, yeah, I don't know how it works, Kev, but I think the rule book states that if it's postponed twice at the home game, it gets played at the other ground. So I don't know if that means we get the home advantage. I don't think anyone's too sure, really. But it is down as Kidsgrove being the home team tonight.
Corey Samuels just coming out to try and smother a ball there by the corner angle of the byline and 18-yard line, and spilt it out the area for a corner. Lofted towards the far post, dealt with initially by Tamworth, and then a thunderous effort charged down from Sam Hall, who's giving chase for the second ball, but Tamworth back in possession with Dryden. Infield now to Tate. Out wide to Little. All the youngsters on show. Clement, little neat ball back to Tate, and instantly infield to Sibanda. Tamworth just up in the tempo a little bit, but there's the problem when it goes forward. It just seems to be rather toothless and disjointed in the final third, the attacking third, and that's so far what has let the performance down, really, Stuart.
Yeah, I have to agree, Kev. It's like I say, it's just been the passes have just been the wrong side of players or slightly overhit, and it was really, obvious there when Chandler Pegg tried to play in Reece Honis, but it was just behind him.
And Sibanda there just catching, and no free kick given. It's a throw in to Grove on this near side in front of our press area, to be taken by Reece Thompson, but he did catch Kingsley Adu Guamfi. He's back on his feet now. One of those where you poke your foot through the attacker's legs to try and win the ball, but he caught the back of the Achilles as well. Here's Guamfi again now. Chips one rather wayward really, and out for a goal kick to Tamworth after initially good skill on the edge of the 18-yard box, Stuart.
It's going to be 1 minute of added on time at the end of this first half.
Do you know, given the scoreline, I know it's 1-0 Kidsgrove are leading the game. But I think, overall, I think the managers will be quite happy from a Tamworth point of view with the way they've tried to play the game.
Yeah, I have to
but
agree.
they'll be disappointed with the way it's gone through the final third, and things need to be just tightened up a little bit there, really.
Yeah.
But some of the play through the midfield we saw a few moments ago there were 5 or 6 passes there in tight areas. They've moved the ball well, they've manipulated the space well.
Yeah.
The opposition then have been opened up, and you've got an opportunity to play the right ball through, and it doesn't materialise, and that's where the frustration has to be.
Yeah, I have to agree entirely with that one, Kev, but there's still 45 left to go in this one. Anything could happen still.
Off the chest of Malbon now, and Kidsgrove on the attack now, 25 yards from the Tamworth goal, left side of the 18-yard box. Ball at the feet of the goal scorer Dylan Bath. Been forced really wide there, Kidsgrove, but then a attempted cross goes wayward and behind the goal for a goal kick to Tamworth. And there on cue is the half-time whistle in the quarter-finals. We are underway for the second period as Kidsgrove attack the Meadow Street end this half. Immediately get the ball up to Malbon, and he fortuitously gains the rebound there on the second ball, but can only prod it through to Jazz Singh. Not the most mobile of players, Anthony Malbon.
I was about to think of something to say along to those lines, Kev.
Good score by Sibanda there in tight areas, but his ball out only finds the Kidsgrove number 4, Sam Hall, and Kidsgrove are starting the half well. Shot across the bows and wide in the end of Corey Samuels' left-hand post after a deflection. Takes it out for a corner, Stuart.
Yeah, and Kidsgrove starting this half the way they started the first, Kev. But Tamworth soon settled themselves and looked the better team after a few minutes. But
deep corner towards, well, it's right under the bar actually there, and I think it had actually gone out of play before coming back in then, because the referee, or it's either that or an infringement in the 6-yard box. But it's a free kick to Tamworth, or a goal kick to Tamworth. Either way, same result really. Samuels just directs his teammates and then plays it left. I presume that would be out to the substitute Lewis Kelly there, Stuart, in left back position.
Were correct.
Nearly said Henry Wilder, but of course he's made way. Afterwards, what a rather routine first half really for Henry.
Yeah, I bet it's all about him just getting a few minutes really, Kev, more than anything else.
Yeah, not wanting to risk him really. He'll could stand to play an integral part on Saturday away at Rushden and Diamonds.
Yeah, obviously depending on how Joe Magunda is, whether Jordan Goff will be at centre back or not. We are not too sure on the outcome of that one yet.
No, there's a couple that we're waiting on. They've got Knox, but we'll have to see later in the week how the squad is bearing up before that crunch league tie. Little takes the ball down expertly. His pass wide then to Dryden is a little wayward actually, as Dryden missed out under pressure from the fullback Alex Morris there. Throw into Kidsgrove down this near side in front of the sponsor suite. I think back, Stuart, to some of the early games that I used to watch down here at the Lamb, and the Staff Senior Cup was a tie that we used to take very seriously. I remember the likes of Russell Gordon. We beat Stafford Rangers, who were in the conference at that point, a couple of leagues higher than us.
Yeah, well, we would have been at least a league lower, wouldn't we, than what we are now? I would have thought back then.
I think we were one league lower, yeah. So 3 leagues the difference at the time. When we played Stafford Rangers and beat them 3-1 here, it was quite incredible. But I think as a kid, as a fan, you don't necessarily see the big picture. You just see it as a game of football and you want your club to win. You don't quite understand everything that goes with it at that point. That came later on. But yeah, some fond memories really. I remember one particular game, the FA Cup, Boston United. After it was a replay, actually went to a replay in extra time, and we Tamworth actually beat Boston down here with a goal from Roy Green.
Yeah,
Quite incredible scenes.
Boston were really a big club then, weren't they, as well?
Yes, absolutely. Conference outfit. Tamworth in possession now from the ball out from Samuels. And they are persisting with that, playing across the back to the corners of the 18-yard box, just like the first team do. Rashawn Francis now. Chips one down the line, but easily enough dealt with by Kidsgrove. And the tall number 4 now, Oliver Jepson, turns and passes long across the field of play. Just about kept in. I thought it was kept in for a moment on the far side, but the flag is up. It will be a Kidsgrove throw just in front of the away dugout. As you mentioned earlier, Stuart, sparsely populated away dugout compared to the Lambs dugout.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's the 2 substitutes, a physio, and the manager, who was actually named on the bench, stood up outside in the technical area. So 4 people in total. Good
foot in by Sibanda there as Kidsgrove tried to probe towards the edge of a Lambs area. He broke it up well, playing in Ryan Bezik's role this evening. A deep lying midfielder is Sibanda. So a tough act to follow is wearing that number 4 shirt. Free kick to Tamworth, just outside the centre circle. And Tamworth progressed down the left-hand side. Just distracted momentarily by a tray of sandwiches, which is very rare to be passed sandwiches along the press bench. Do you mind telling me what flavour that one is, Stuart?
No idea.
Well, I'll take a punt. I'm not really sure.
There's a plain ham.
Maybe we can offer our.
There's a plain ham one there.
Oh, that'll do. Our Kidsgrove colleague maybe would enjoy a sandwich himself.
Do you want to do the honours and
pass it on down?
No idea. I don't know. Just
strange goings on the press bench. As I say, it's never been offered sandwiches before.
No, but there we go.
We normally get chocolate at half time, though, don't we?
We do. That's a different one. I'll enjoy my sandwich then, Kev, on the press bench.
There wasn't too much going on the field of play. So don't worry, listeners, you haven't missed out on too much with us waffling. Ball forward for Tamworth now, in search of Chandler Pegg, but again, it's following the same theme as the rest of the evening. It's just had a little bit too much on it. Easy enough for the goalkeeper to deal with. Now we've got to try and make sure that I don't try and bring you in when you've got a mouthful of sandwich now, Stuart. This is the problem. And likewise. So I'll let you carry on with yours. Clement now marauding through the centre of the pitch, tries to poke one through. It's kind of off balance and berates the referee there for the lack of free kick. But I'm sure that ball would have been a little bit more accurate had he not been off balance. Here's Guamfi now, chips the ball wide for Grove down the right hand side. So eventually comes in along the 6-yard line and stabbed away by Tamworth, just prevented from going out for a corner after that cross was cut out. And it's a throw in to the Grove on the far side, and it'll be Reece Thompson to take.
Knock yourself out, Kev. Go for your sandwich. Currently Kidsgrove with this throw in right by the corner flag. It's long into the box, headed on by the number 4, but he's in, looks like he backed into his man there and was judged to have fouled him, so it's a free kick taken by Corey Samuels quickly though. Tamworth looking to play this one out from the back once again, but coming under a little bit of pressure, but good play there by Ryan Tate to pick up his counterpart on the left hand side, and Tamworth marauding forward now. A ball looking for Luke Little was cut out there by Dylan Bath, and what looked to be a really good move by Tamworth there. Came unstuck by a bit of a poor pass really. Luke Little now with the throw finds Sibanda. Looks for Clement, but he lets it run on to Lewis Kelly. And Tamworth just playing the ball around the middle of the park with Sibanda now. back with the centre-back. Luke Little looked to make a run there, but he wasn't quite picked up. And Tamworth having a good little sustained amount of possession here. Jordan Clement now marauds forward to the edge of the box, finds Chandler Pegg. He's down in the clubhouse corner of the ground, steps back inside one way, then the other. Looks to get a crossing, but it's blocked and it's spun out of play. It's actually gone for a free kick the opposite way. I thought it was spinning out of play there for a throw-in down in the bottom corner, but Chandler Pegg there was adjudged to have fouled his man. And another substitution for Tamworth now. It looks like Chandler Pegg is going to make way for Tyrell Waite, Kev.
Good little passage of play really by Tamworth there, as you explained, Stuart, and I think good defending by Rhys Thompson to stop that cross coming in from Chandler Pegg, and then in his efforts to try and win the ball back, he fouled the Kidsgrove fullback, and that will give Tamworth the opportunity in a moment to make the substitution. And they will have to wait until the next time the ball is out of play. Clement chips on forward towards Honus, who has been very ineffectual in this game. But every free kick and throw-in that is given to Tamworth, you can see that they're trying to get on with it very, very quickly and really up the tempo of the game. Certainly playing the ball quicker than Kidsgrove. Ball chipped forward now for Kidsgrove to deal with, and Thompson does just that, chips it up towards halfway, but it's out of play for a Tamworth throw. And that substitution will have to wait a little bit longer.
I don't know what you're on about, Kev.
Oh, it's already happened.
He's on the pitch.
Yeah, I just thought that. Look, there he is. So immediately trying to get onto the end of a through ball, but it's just too long. Who made way for Tyrell Waite?
It was Chandler Pegg.
Chandler Pegg.
Yeah.
Okay.
You must have been enjoying your sandwich too much, Kev.
It was rather nice, actually. It's a shame there's no more of those.
I know, yeah.
Kidsgrove in possession now. Pinged the ball out to his left-hand side. And all fizzles out, rather, really, with off-balance chip forward from Sam Hall. Wasn't really expecting the ball back to him there, and it runs all the way through to Corey Samuels, and Tamworth play out from the back once more. Into Tate now, he's got lots of space. 10 yards into the Tamworth half. Wide to Kelly. Back in field to Tate. Accurate pass into Clement, who protects the ball well with some neat skill. Now Dryden drops a shoulder and then just gets taken out about 30 yards from goal.
Yeah, but actually, Rhys Honus there was through and could have received a pass, but he actually lost his foot in there, Kev, then was out of action. So Kai Dryden there had to, like you say, Kev, drop the shoulder and look to go for goal himself.
Yeah, I think possibly he would have looked to have made that pass had Rhys stayed on his feet. But
yeah, he ended up on his backside in far rather theatrical fashion.
That's very Rhys Honus-esque, isn't it?
It is.
So Jordan Clement has now got an opportunity about 28 yards from goal, and I think he might fancy his chances here. He does chip it in towards that near post, and it's just wide. I think the goalkeeper would argue he had that covered there, Mr. Kieran Harrison. But not a bad effort by Jordan Clement, Stuart.
No, absolutely not, and he certainly was going low and towards that bottom right-hand corner of the keeper's goal. But like you say, Kev, he could argue that he had that one covered.
As things stand, it will be the Stoke outfit that will go on to play Stoke City in the quarter-finals. It'll be somewhat of a derby for them. They currently lead Tamworth by a goal to 0.
Yeah, you obviously have already made the journey to Kidsgrove once, Kev, to find out the game was called off just before kick-off.
Yeah, along with a number of officials and fans that evening. It was very frustrating. rather loose ball across the 18-yard box for Tamworth, and Francis had to clear it heftily, which results in Kidsgrove possession on the halfway, now on the left-hand side, with fullback Alex Morris. And then given away by the centre-back there, Oliver Jepson. Gets the ball back and does rather better on that occasion. Infield to Butler, and then across now. Sam Hall tries to spread it wide, but it lacks the desired quality and gives the ball away to Tamworth. Waite now does expertly down the left-hand side to lift the ball over the opponent. He's into the area. Good tackle. Waite on the end of it again, trying to get the crossover. Lays it back to Clement, and he's swept it over the bar. He just needed to keep that one down, and it would have surely resulted in an equaliser, Stuart.
Yeah, it wasn't too far away, was it? And I think there's been a lot more joy down that left-hand side since Tyrell Waite came by and kept to certainly utilise his pace.
Dare I say it, it's given the whole team a lift.
Yeah,
it just seems to have given us a little bit more confidence with his presence on the pitch. Some of the younger lads would look up to Ty and think, you know, what a player he is. But defending for Tamworth to do at the moment, duly done by Luke Little. Rashawn Francis completes that clearance up over halfway now to Honus. He backs into his man, free kick to Kidsgrove. I have to agree with that one, to be fair. I think that was the correct decision.
Yeah, I think so. Taken quickly by Kidsgrove there, and they've given the ball away to Tamworth, who now find themselves an attack with Tyrell Waite down the left-hand side. He's gone past one, he's looking to go past another, but he's run himself into trouble a little bit, and that ball's just been, well, I was going to say shepherded out of play, but in the end Tyrell Waite was all over the back of the number 2, Reece Thompson, and actually concedes the foul.
Yeah, it was either going to be a...
Ball's being rolled by the goalkeeper there though, Kev.
yeah, it's at the edge of the 18-yard box, wasn't it?
I think he's actually realised that was probably taking the Michael a little bit too much.
I was just going to say, it was either going to be a free kick against Ty or a goal kick, one or the other. There was
and the referee
good defending, to be fair, by Thompson.
Yeah, the referee is actually making him go all the way back to where the foul was actually conceded. Now this is as good as a goal kick now, Kev.
Yeah, may as well be. Right on the corner of the 6-yard box, the right-hand corner at the Castle end. Lofted up over halfway by Harrison, and Tamworth pick up the second ball. Clement now tries to feed one through to Honus, and it's again just slightly too much power on that. Honus had lost his footing anyway, and it ran on through to Harrison, and it's really turning out to be quite a frustrating night from that point of view in this game of football for Tamworth.
Absolutely, and you feel that there is a goal here for Tamworth, don't you, Kev? You can see them potentially breaking through with a, with that through ball, and Reece Honus ending up being one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and you'd always put money on Reece Honus in front of any goalkeeper at this level.
Yeah, I'm just surprised he's not had more effect on the game. Being a senior player and of the quality of Reece, with his attributes that he has, with his pace and tenacity, he's always hanging off the shoulder of the last defender, so he's wily, he's experienced, he knows when to make the runs, and I just think that is in part just the fact that his teammates haven't managed to find him.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? I was about to say it's all about the service that he's probably not quite received. He's probably not up to what he's probably used to. Ball
spread wide by Hall from the centre circle out to that far touchline, and the ball down the line from the fullback Thompson is out of play for a Tamworth throw. Taken quickly. Kelly upfield. Waite manages to get it back to a teammate, and Tamworth playing some neat, incisive football, but very deep in their own half, and eventually under pressure, out of play for a Kidsgrove throw. And one thing that Kidsgrove have done very well, Stuart, is that they press the Lambs at every opportunity. They've made it very difficult for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ball for Kidsgrove towards far post. It's too much on it. Takes a couple of bounces. Out of play for a goal kick for Corey Samuels to take. So 64 on the clock. No addition to the half-time score. It is still Kidsgrove Athletic 1, Tamworth 0. Slightly different routine from the goal kick this time. Pinged out to the far touchline. The trouble is with this, it's possession for Tamworth, but it's in their own half, and they're very quickly dispossessed. Long range effort for Kidsgrove, not a million miles away over Corey Samuels' crossbar from number 11, Dylan Bath. Product of the academy at Kidsgrove.
Meanwhile, up the road in Colville, Kev, it's still Colville 0, Needham Market 0, 80 minutes played there. That's good to help Tamworth on their way in the league, that Colville don't get any points on us.
It's quite a result if it stays that way for Needham Market, who don't generally travel well.
Yeah, so there's only 10 minutes left, well, less than 10 minutes left there to play. And we'll look again closer to full time. Bear in mind, we are going to be running over later than usual here due to us not kicking off until 8 o'clock.
Dryden just offloads a shot there from fully 30 odd yards, but not really any danger of troubling Kieran Harrison in the Kidsgrove goal. Just thinking about the league campaign, Stuart, there's 14 games left in the league, it's
crazy, isn't it now?
Where does it go? And all of a sudden we're at the business end of the season.
We were saying, not so long ago that there's, a long old way to go, and now there really isn't, is there?
No, and I think, before we know it, we're going to be into that last 10 games and the title running.
Well, you say 14 games for us left to go.
I believe so, yeah.
And you think teams that we've got games in hand on, they've even got less to go.
Here's Bath now for Kidsgrove. Lays one back into the number 8, Kyle Blake, and then spread wide now to his left-hand side to the fullback Alex Morris. Gets the crossover and it's fizzed with a lot of power, and it would have took to be pinpoint there for any chance to materialise for Kidsgrove, but it fizzed over the heads of both the Kidsgrove and the Tamworth players out for a goal kick to Tamworth. Yeah, we're on a good run at the moment. 4 wins in a row, no goals conceded, and we've talked about it nearly every game how we played a better football generally. We do generally dominate games, but we don't score enough goals. And there will be a few games in that 14 games where we just fail to score. We concede a goal and we can't outscore the opposition, and that's what Bromsgrove and Peterborough do. And we don't seem to have that in our locker. But then again, I think with a fully fit Chris Late, that could change. You could see a more free-flowing Tamworth.
Yeah, I think so. We saw that away at Alvechurch, didn't we? The way that he changed the game when he came on.
Hendersford as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tamworth in possession, just coming over the halfway line now. Ball into Honus, who's had to go back towards his own half to keep possession. Lays it off to Francis. Sibander in support, but goes to Honus instead. Options down this flank now for Francis as he steps forward, tries to play the ball in field, but it was all too easy for Sam Hall just to intercept, really. That was poor pass selection by Rashawn Francis then. And it all breaks down. Big clearance by Harrison. Had to be dealt with by Tamworth. Now Morris with a cross. Dealt with in the centre of the Lambs defence, headed out to Sibander. He's brought down just inside the 18-yard box. Free kick to Tamworth and taken quickly. Now Tate into Clement. His ball forward now, and that's just about dealt with by Rhys Thompson there, because he had both Rhys Honus and Tyrell Waite to contend with there, Stuart.
Yeah, it was very close there for Tamworth for being through one-on-one with the keeper. And like you say, Kev, it was well dealt with and had to be by the Kidsgrove defence.
I would actually give Rhys Thompson the man of the match. I think really for Kidsgrove, I think he's been exceptional in his defensive duties. Just overstepped the mark a little bit earlier on in the game and got the yellow card just after half an hour or so. But he's had a very, very consistent game, and could have even scored if his shot had been either side of Corey Samuels in the first half. Tamworth player down at the moment. Sabanda on the edge of the 18-yard box. I think that's probably connected to that foul a moment ago.
Yeah, he seemed to lose his footing first before he was fouled as well, didn't he, Kevin? He seemed to get a little bit muddled up trying to clear the ball. And I think in eagerness to try and think they had a chance at goal, and Kidsgrove man actually found him in the end.
Just looking ahead to the weekend while we've got this break in play, and that game against away at Rushden Diamonds, they are 10 points behind us. They would have played tonight, but the game was postponed, so when we play on Saturday they are currently 6th. I'm not sure how Colville's result would affect that this evening, but 10 points behind us. And you think if Tamworth were to go there and the worst were to happen and we were to lose that game, once again, what it does is it tightens that top 6 up again, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and you know, with Bromsgrove only being 2 points behind still, and you know, yes, they've played 2 more games, but the fact that would put them, you know, back to top of the pile, you know, it's psychological then, isn't it, Kev?
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, the pressures that come into play at the end of a season, when teams are in certain positions and all of a sudden it dawns on them, look, this really does matter. Even more so, I mean, in the last few games.
When we played really well at Bromsgrove and lost when probably we should have got more out of that game, you know, we saw what it did to us, didn't we? We ended up going on a 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, that's right.
And then when we finally got our confidence back, we've gone round and turned it into a 4-game winning streak and actually not conceding a single goal in any of them 4 games. So, you know, if we hadn't had that 3-game losing streak, where would actually we be now?
Well, that's it.
You know, it's all if buts and maybes, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah. And other teams could say the same, couldn't they? And I think, if you look at this league in the last couple of years where, you know, prior to Tamworth being at this level, it was won by over 100 points for 2 seasons running, with Hereford and Kings Lynn. You know, but no team this season will go that far. It will be a lot tighter. Tamworth back underway. Sabanda looks okay.
You know, in a funny old way as well, Kev, that makes for a much more entertaining league, doesn't it? And you know, in the sense of, yeah, we'd like it if we did run away with it and get over 100 points, but you know, it keeps it exciting for the fans and for other clubs as well.
Yeah, it does. We all want a bit of excitement, don't we?
We do, you
know. None more so than tonight. We need a Tamworth goal.
Well, you can see how disheartened a lot of fans are in the Premiership, Kev, that don't support Liverpool, obviously. Because you could put money on they've won the league.
Well, is it 22 points clear, is it?
Something silly like that, yeah.
It's phenomenal. It really is. Combination of them being absolutely brilliant and other teams not being quite as good as they have been, i.e. Man City. And Tamworth back in possession, and it's all in their own half, and Tamworth really struggling to get the ball forward in any telling fashion. That's what happens. We're playing it out from the back, it goes into midfield, we lose the ball, and then we're back under pressure. Not that Kidsgrove are creating much from it. Another wasted cross from Morris, the left full-back. He's popped up a few times down this left side in this second period, and he's had chances to do better than that. Yeah. And fortunately for Tamworth, he hasn't.
Yeah, there's still, 17, 18 minutes of normal time left to go here at the Lamb. So Tamworth not out of it yet, Kev, and don't forget that if this game is tied after 90 minutes, it will go straight to penalties.
Yeah, just the 1 goal in it, of course, and it only takes a moment.
But, you know, I think we're thankful of in these Senior Cup games. Look, this is obviously the 3rd time we're trying to get this one underway. But a replay, you know, probably wouldn't have been played until next season.
But it looks like, yeah, you're right, I know. But it looks like the trend will continue at the moment in terms of Tamworth never having scored against Kidsgrove Athletic. And Kidsgrove have won all 3 meetings between the 2 teams, scoring 10 goals, 11 including tonight's, and 4 meetings. Ball back to the halfway line for Kidsgrove, almost put Rhys Honus in there, but Oliver Jepson did well enough to get it across to his teammate. And the ball out of the Lamb's 18-yard box away from Guamfi. Again, Tamworth just struggling to get out of their own half. Now Clement finally gets his foot on the ball and drives Tamworth forward. Good little layoff now to Dryden, and he's into the area. Just checks back, holds the ball up well, lays it back to Clement in the 18-yard D. Looks like handball in the area there. Surely a handball off the Kidsgrove man, plumb centre of the 18-yard box, and Clement's goal-bound shot and not given by the referee. It's all about an arm being in an unnatural position, Stuart, and without the benefit of a replay, my gut feeling was that was handball.
The referee clearly signalled that he headed the ball. That's what the referee was saying certainly to Jordan Clement. And I've got a funny feeling, Kev, that I can see Anthony Robinson getting ready in the dugout. I think that's him. My eyes might be deceiving me.
Ball into the Tamworth box, and Corey Samuels gathers above his head. He's had a sound game as the academy goalkeeper this evening. Ball at feet now, just chips it wide to Kelly. On as a second half substitute for Henry Wilder. He rolls it into the centre circle to Kai Dryden, who eventually wins the free kick after a couple of rough tackles there. Did well to elude two Kidsgrove players there. News coming through.
Yeah, I was going to check for myself, but
big goal in the league.
Absolutely, and it is Colville 0, Needham Market 1, scored in the 91st minute.
Francis is ball into Dryden, just shields the ball and lays it wide to Little. He'll try and go around the outside and get a crossing, but just checks back and feeds Dryden again. Now Francis, his shot charged down in the 18-yard D, and Kidsgrove smack it up the pitch and get it clear towards Malbon, but as we stated earlier in the game, he's not the most mobile, and the ball has got to be to his feet for it to stick. I think only 3 goals off being the all-time top goal scorer, Anthony Malbon, for Kidsgrove Athletic. Here's Honus now into the area, one way then the other, goes around the outside. Good defending there by Oliver Jepson. Has to be said, he looked beaten at one point there, but got back really well to prevent Honus getting the crossover, and actually comes off the Tamworth man for a goal kick to Kidsgrove.
And here comes that substitution for Tamworth, Kev. It will be Z Subanda leaving the field of play to be replaced by number 14, Anthony Robinson.
Substitution for Tamworth in the 77th minute. Please show appreciation. Leaving the field, number 4, Z Subanda. Replacing him is Anthony Robinson, making his first appearance since January 2008.
Well said, Mark, yeah. So 19th of January 2008 was Anthony Robinson's last appearance in a Tamworth shirt, and that was a home game against Blythe Spartans, and he was on the bench that game. But he did play 25 starts and 5 as sub, 5 goals in his time as a Tamworth striker. But a tad younger, 12 years younger, and a tad fitter, Stuart.
Yes, you'll have to say so, wouldn't you, Kev?
Away goes Honus. Looked like a really good pass initially from Jordan Clement, but it's just curled in field, and that favoured the goalkeeper, and he smacks it out from the middle of the Kidsgrove half for a Tamworth throw on the halfway line, taken by Little into Tate. Back in from Tate to Clement. Totally unmarked now in the centre circle. Ball up towards Robinson, but he wanted the free kick, but nothing given by the referee on that occasion. A longer ball upfield for Kidsgrove there. Goes out of play for a Tamworth goal kick. And a big win there for Needham Market.
Absolutely.
More to the point, it helps Tamworth's cause, with Colville not picking up any points at all. Tamworth on the attack now into the Kidsgrove area, driving across, and it's gone out for a goal kick, I believe. That was a moment of promise which didn't really materialise into anything that we could get excited about.
No, unfortunately not. Well, it all started actually from a good takedown and a good touch, and pass from Anthony Robinson, Kev. He's looking quite sharp since he's made his entrance onto the field.
I'm sure he would argue class is permanent.
Absolutely. Class might be permanent, Kev, but ability, maybe not.
I'll let you tell him that. Robbo, as he's affectionately known.
Well, you could say back in your day, Kev, that you had all the class, but
I never had any class, mate. Just speak to
right
people that played in the same team
right
as
now
me.
you've got no ability.
Never had any ability, or very little, and certainly no class. Here's number 4 now, Sam Hall for Kidsgrove. I just see Malka Green on the row in front of us here, as he used to manage the supporters team back in the day when I played in that, and he knows all about my lack of ability, don't you, Malk? Too true, he says. Free kick to Tamworth when we get back underway. And you wouldn't say this game is done. You know, you never know. With a little over 10 minutes left on the clock, it's a very, very even game, and it could easily end 1-1. Francis now chips one across field towards Robinson, but he was dealt with in the air, and Kidsgrove defend it. Robinson wins the header, but this time it only falls to a Kidsgrove man, and that man is Sam Hall. Midfield enforcer, tall figure. He's had a decent game as Sam Hall. Here's Jordan Clement now. Tries to slide roll the ball through towards Tyrell Waite, but the flag was gingerly lifted on this near side by the assistant referee. Just waiting to see if it went through to Tyrell Waite there. I can only say she's got a better line of sight than I have, and with it being Tyrell Waite involved, Stuart, it wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility that he was offside.
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely.
Leaving the field, number 10 and 12 on.
Can we block that user, Pete Clark 1?
Replacing him, number 14, Lee Williamson.
Because that comment is uncalled for.
I can block him from
And totally
commenting.
not true.
I can block him from the chat, Kev. I can't block him from listening, unfortunately.
My old mate Pete.
We wouldn't do that.
I really hope that Tamworth can go on and get an equaliser and actually take this 2 penalties and somehow get through the tie, because there really hasn't been much in this game at all. It's just that Kidsgrove have managed to convert an opportunity, and Tamworth have probably been, I'd say, slightly the better team in terms of actually playing football, but for me they've not had the run of the midfield, and therefore they've not been able to get the ball forward to the strikers or the wingers, but
Yeah,
when they have,
agree.
it's not been accurate enough.
No, I'd have to agree.
You can see it really does mean something to Kidsgrove, and you know, for them to progress, you know, you can see it's just a little bit of a handbags on the halfway line now with Guamfi. He just got a little shove there. I think it's by Sam Walton, and the referee's got a little bit of sorting out to do.
I think given a red card, Kev. And a straight red as well, though.
A straight red, and Guamfi turned round and faced up to Walton on the halfway line there after that little shove in the back, and he's equally as guilty for retaliation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tamworth down to 10 men. Well, they may as well go for it now and just push people forward.
Yeah,
and go on one-on-one at the back, and
with 6 or
time
7
running
minutes
out.
left to go, and like you said, Kev, they may as well just shove the bodies forward. But, you know, that's astonishing, that is, for me, Kev.
Crazy decision from a referee that's actually had a decent game, Mr. Brad Tonks. Tamworth on the attack. Francis into Dryden. Tries to get it back to Francis. Does just about do so, but it was a little bit of a heavy touch. Tamworth back in possession on the halfway now. Here's Kelly. into Dryden. Back to Kelly, this halfway into the Kidsgrove half. Across to Francis now. And Tamworth just need to produce something that opens up Kidsgrove and creates an opportunity. Here's Honus now. Little outside of the boot pass, tried to go through the legs of the marker, but it didn't come off. So easy for teams to defend when they've got everybody back along the 18-yard line and there's just no holes to play the ball through. And that's what Kidsgrove are doing now, despite the numerical advantage. They know the game is almost up with a little over 5 minutes to go, and they're just putting everybody back in their own half, reluctantly pushing one up towards the halfway, but that's all it is. Clement into Dryden, 25 yards from goal, drop of the shoulder, little prodded ball through to Tyrell Waite. He's brought down in the 18-yard D. No free kick, says the referee. Another strange decision as that looked all ends up like a free kick. Tamworth back in possession with Francis. Clement now in the centre circle, just inside the Kidsgrove half. Chipped up towards Robinson, flags up for offside. Free kick to Kidsgrove, and they will feel that this, as it progresses now, is going to be their tie, and of course their victory, their fourth victory in as many games over Tamworth, and it will be they that progress through to play Stoke City at home. Well, that's a challenge in itself, getting a game on at Hollingwood Road, but that will be the plan.
Especially with more storms, coming as well, Kev. I think it's Storm Dennis now that's due at the weekend, I think I saw.
I think you're right, yeah.
This could put some games at the weekend in jeopardy.
Yeah, including Tamworth's. And I think any more rain, heavy rain over the course of the week, and particularly towards the weekend, would render Rushden and Diamonds pitch unplayable at the Hayden Road Sports Ground.
Number 7, Tom France. Is number 12, Richard Duffy.
I must admit, no offence to Rushden and Diamonds, I'd much prefer to go to their ground on a Saturday afternoon than I would a cold Tuesday evening, Kev.
Yeah, you and me alike there. Tamworth will restart after this substitution with a goal kick, and time is running out for the young lambs. 88 on the clock here at the CR MOT Centre Community Stadium at the Lamb, and it is still Kidsgrove Athletic 1, Tamworth 0. And in truth, Stuart, I think it's fair to say Tamworth haven't looked like scoring.
No, I think
brutally honest.
I think some of them passes had gotten through to Reece Honus were a little bit short and a little more accurate than, potentially we would have done. But I think that's all if buts and maybes once again. Yeah,
it's not like we've missed open goals and had chances or penalties turned down. We've had the one shout for a penalty without a replay. I couldn't be sure. Kidsgrove just trying to break on Tamworth now on the far side. That's a ball out of defence. Finds one of the substitutes, or the substitute I should say, but it's all been held up, rolled across the pitch now to Sam Hall, out to this near side. Morris now, the fullback, back to Hall, clipped forward to the substitute Duffy, and cleared by Corey Samuels. Meaty header back into the goalkeeper, actually out of play for a Tamworth goal kick by James Butler. Sounded a little bit strange there when he met that one on the head. It sounded almost like the ball was flat, but play on with the same ball we do. Here's Francis. Longer ball forward now as he senses the urgency now with time running out. And again, Butler gets the better of his man and wallops it up pitch. Anywhere will do. Who can blame them really, Stuart, in the position that they're in?
Absolutely.
Samuels kicks downfield towards Tyrell Waite, who potentially could have got a free kick there, but nothing given by the referee, and Kidsgrove clear all the way back up to Samuels once more. He's getting further and further away from his goal, so he has to make sure these passes upfield are accurate, otherwise he can end up being lobbed. So if you look where Corey Samuels is now, he's actually only 5 yards outside the centre circle.
Yeah, we just begin to backtrack now as Kieran Goalkeeper Kieran Harrison holds on to the ball. Now kicks long, but only as far as Lewis Kelly. And Tamworth struggling, Kev, really, just to get back hold of the ball. And when they do, it's given away straight away again.
You know, the youngsters out there tonight have done themselves proud, really, in terms of the fact that they come up against, you know, a seasoned outfit with men. It's been men against boys. Chance now for Kidsgrove as the ball's rolled into the Tamworth area. Chance at the far stick, good save, and the flag's up on the far side for the follow-up, so it wouldn't count. Really good save by Corey Samuel Stewart.
Absolutely, it was one-on, wasn't it, at the back post, or from where the cross came in, and yeah, Corey Samuel saved well with his legs.
I think it was Dylan Bath that had that chance there, like you say, one-on-one, and maybe that's a turning point as Tamworth go on the attack now. Wait, gets the ball over. It's a goal for Tamworth in the last dying seconds of the game.
Anthony Robinson with the header as well, Kev.
Look what it means as well. Everybody runs over to the far side. It's a whole melee of players and staff over there. And after that, save by Corey Samuels, denying Dylan Bath. And the 90th minute, Anthony Robinson with a header.
Anthony Robinson!
And you knew, Kev, didn't you? You just knew when he was going to be featured on the bench that he would come on and somehow he would find the back of the net. And with his head as well.
Well, it looks like we might be going to penalties, so you're
certainly
staying
does,
up a bit
doesn't
longer,
it?
listeners.
And as it gets colder here,
By the
at Lab,
second.
yeah, you're telling me, Kev, it's certainly temperature's dropping, isn't it?
And there is
the
the
full-time
final whistle.
Not even time to kick off. And up steps Ryan. And it's saved by Kieran Harrison. It wasn't the best of penalties really, Kev. It was well telegraphed by the keeper. Far. And almost saved there by Corey. He went the right way, but he got his fingertips to it, but couldn't quite keep it out of the back of the net.
Will step up to take Tamworth's second penalty. No mistake, Clement. Tamworth get a goal. Samuel's bouncing on his line, waving his arms about, and a fantastic penalty right into the top left corner.
Referee blows his whistle, up he steps. It's another save there by the Kidsgrove keeper. Kidsgrove now with another penalty and sends Corey the wrong way, which is a big ask.
Up steps Honus, dinks it, and that was a nonchalant punch away from the keeper, because that was a really poor penalty from Rhys Honus. He just chipped it as if the keeper was going to dive, and he looked an absolute, well, I can't say what I was going to say, but what a waste really. It really just needed to be blasted, and it has all finished here at the CRMOT Centre Community Stadium at the Lamb. Disappointingly, Tamworth youngsters are out of the SAF Senior Cup, and it is Kidsgrove who progress through to the quarterfinals to play Stoke City.